Hello, brilliant minds. Welcome back to Coffee English, where we explore the amazing world of language learning through great stories. Today, I want to share something that will change how you think about learning English as an adult. Imagine this: you are 54 years old. You have already changed physics. You are world famous. But suddenly, you must learn a completely new language to live in a foreign country. Most people would panic, but not Albert Einstein. This episode will show you exactly how the greatest mind of the 20th century learned English at an age when most people think it is too late. You will discover his secret methods, understand why making mistakes actually helped him learn faster, and learn simple ways you can use right now to change your own English journey. Why is this story so powerful for English learners? Because Einstein proved that curiosity, not age, decides success in language learning. His approach will help you build confidence, accept errors as learning tools, and think like a scientist about your English progress. Let us dive into the amazing story of how Einstein learned English and changed the world of science forever. When Einstein arrived at Princeton in 1933, he faced a challenge that would scare most people: learning English at age 54. This was not optional. His scientific career in America depended on it. But here is what makes this story so inspiring. Einstein did not learn English like a traditional student. He did not sit with grammar books or memorize vocabulary lists. Instead, he treated English like a scientific experiment. Einstein's method was new because he mixed his work with his language learning. He would read scientific papers written in English, not because his boss told him to, but because he was truly curious about the research. When he found unknown words, he would not just look them up in a dictionary. He would study their origins, explore their connections to other words, and try using them in different contexts. Imagine how hard this was. Here was a man who could explain the mysteries of the universe in German, yet he had problems with basic English conversations. But Einstein's curiosity was stronger than his frustration. This curiosity-driven approach changed boring language study into exciting discovery. Instead of thinking, "I must learn English," Einstein thought, "I wonder how English speakers express this scientific idea differently than Germans do." Einstein's approach proves something amazing. When you study what truly interests you, your brain naturally becomes more open to new information. You remember words better because they connect to ideas you already care about. This principle can change your English learning journey. Instead of forcing yourself to study topics that bore you, choose subjects that truly interest you. If you love cooking, read English recipes and cooking blogs. If you enjoy technology, watch English tech reviews and read articles about new inventions. If you are passionate about history, explore English documentaries and historical articles. Einstein proved that passion and curiosity are more powerful than any textbook or grammar rule. Most English learners fear making mistakes. They stay silent in conversations, afraid of saying something wrong. Einstein had a completely different philosophy. He famously said, "A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new." Einstein applied this principle to his English learning with amazing results. During his early years at Princeton, Einstein would regularly speak English in faculty meetings, even when he was not confident about his grammar. Historical records show that he would make pronunciation errors, use incorrect verb forms, and sometimes create entirely new words by mixing German and English roots. But instead of feeling embarrassed, Einstein treated each mistake as valuable information. He would notice when people looked confused, ask for corrections, and immediately try the correct version. This approach was documented by his colleagues who saw his fearless attitude toward language learning. This fearless approach to making mistakes made his learning much faster. While other immigrant scientists stayed quiet and spoke only when absolutely necessary, Einstein talked constantly, learning from every error. Here is the most inspiring part. Einstein turned his German accent into an advantage. Instead of trying to sound like a native speaker, he accepted his unique pronunciation and made it part of his charm. People remembered his lectures not just for the brilliant content, but for his special way of speaking English. We know from historical records that Einstein became fluent enough in English to give complex scientific lectures, write research papers, and even have philosophical discussions. His accent remained strong throughout his life, but it became part of his recognizable personality. Here is how you can adopt Einstein's mistake philosophy. Start speaking English even when you are not perfect. Join conversation groups, comment on English social media posts, record yourself speaking, and listen for errors. Each mistake is not a failure, it is a stepping stone to fluency. Remember Einstein's documented wisdom. Every mistake is a new discovery waiting to happen. The scientific method applied to language. Einstein's approach to English learning was revolutionary because he applied the same scientific thinking that made him famous to language learning. Einstein approached English learning like a scientific experiment. He formed ideas about how the language worked, tested these theories in real conversations, and changed his understanding based on the results. For example, when learning English pronunciation, Einstein noticed that many sounds did not exist in German. Instead of just trying to copy native speakers, he applied his scientific training to understand the mechanics of sound production. He analyzed tongue position, airflow, and vocal cord vibration. This scientific approach helped him understand why certain sounds were difficult and how to systematically improve them. He did not just practice randomly, he practiced intelligently. Historical evidence shows that Einstein was particularly analytical about language structure. He would compare English grammar patterns to German ones, looking for logical systems and rules. This systematic approach helped him understand English structure more deeply than simple memorization would have allowed. You can use Einstein's scientific method for your English learning. First, observe patterns in the language. Notice how native speakers use certain phrases or grammatical structures. Second, form ideas about the rules. For example, I think native speakers use get plus past participle to talk about completed actions. Third, test your ideas by using these patterns in real conversations or writing. Fourth, collect feedback and adjust your understanding based on the results. This systematic approach turns language learning from mindless repetition into intelligent discovery. You become a language scientist, not just a student. Einstein proved that curiosity and systematic thinking can overcome any learning challenge, regardless of age or background. Perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Einstein's English learning journey was his commitment to simplicity and focus. Einstein had a famous saying, Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. He applied this principle to his English learning with powerful results. Instead of trying to learn complex grammar rules all at once, Einstein focused on mastering simple structures first. Historical accounts suggest he would take one grammatical concept and practice it systematically until it became automatic. Einstein also approached vocabulary learning strategically. Rather than memorizing random word lists, he focused on learning word families and roots. When he learned the word observe, he also learned observation, observatory, and observant. This approach helped him build vocabulary systematically and remember words more effectively. But here is the truly inspiring part. Einstein never felt ashamed of starting with simple English. He understood that simplicity was not a weakness, it was a foundation for future complexity. We know from his documented correspondence that Einstein's English improved dramatically over his years at Princeton. His early letters show simple sentence structures, while his later writings demonstrate sophisticated English usage. Einstein's simplicity principle can transform your English learning. Instead of jumping between different grammar topics, master one concept completely before moving to the next. Instead of learning isolated words, focus on phrases and expressions that you can use immediately. Remember, simple does not mean easy. It means focused and systematic. Einstein's story teaches us that even the greatest minds in history had to start with simple steps. If Einstein could patiently master basic English structures at age 54, you can definitely improve your English skills, no matter where you are in your journey. The key is to embrace simplicity as a strength, not a limitation. In every episode, I love to share a useful phrase that can enhance your English communication. Today's phrase comes directly from Einstein himself, and it perfectly captures his approach to learning. Our phrase of the day is, "I have no special talent, I am only passionately curious." Einstein said this to explain his success, but it applies perfectly to language learning. This phrase shows us that natural talent is less important than genuine curiosity and passion for learning. You can use this phrase when people ask about your English progress. For example, "How did you improve your English so quickly?" You can answer, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious about the language and culture." You can also use this phrase to encourage yourself when English feels difficult. Remember that even Einstein, the greatest genius of modern times, attributed his success to curiosity, not special abilities. So, let us remember the key lessons from Einstein's English learning journey. First, approach English with passionate curiosity. Study topics that genuinely interest you, not just what textbooks tell you to learn. Second, embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Every error is valuable information that helps you improve. Third, apply the scientific method to your learning. Observe patterns, form ideas, test them, and adjust based on results. Fourth, focus on simplicity. Master basic concepts completely before moving to advanced topics. Einstein proved that age is not a barrier to language learning. At 54, he completely transformed his communication abilities and opened new doors in his scientific career. If Einstein could master English as an adult immigrant, you can definitely improve your English skills, regardless of your age or background. I encourage you to apply one of Einstein's methods this week. Choose a topic that fascinates you and explore it through English content. Make mistakes boldly and learn from them. Treat your English learning like a scientific experiment. If this story inspired you to think differently about English learning, please give this episode a thumbs up and share it with friends who might benefit from Einstein's wisdom. Subscribe to Coffee English for more fascinating stories that will transform your language learning journey. Your English improvement journey starts with curiosity. What will you discover today? Thank you for joining me on this journey through Einstein's remarkable English learning story. Remember, you do not need to be a genius to learn English effectively. You just need to be passionately curious. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing. This has been Coffee English. See you soon.